And welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of chapter 2 contours of our geography subject. Now we will be seeing contour diagrams. In last video we have shown identification of landforms marked by contours, calculation of gradient of a landscape. I have explained contour, what is contour interval, hatches, hill shading, all that. So I will give the link in the I button above. So do watch that video before seeing this video. This is after that video. So this is part 2 of contours. Let's start. Contour diagrams. We will be seeing all the contour diagrams in this video, and next video we will be doing conventional signs and symbols. Steep slope. Now what is steep slope? When the land suddenly slopes up or down, it is known as steep slope. Means like this. Suppose this is, and you are standing here. It is very steep slope. When you look down, it is very steep, right? In a steep slope, the contours are drawn close to each other. They are very close to each other. Contours are very close to each other, okay? Like this, you can see they are very, very close to each other. These are steep slope. And when they are farther apart like this is gentle slope. Okay, so steep slope, they are drawn close to one another. Now what is gentle slope? In such a slope, the change of elevation is gradual. Normally about 1:25 gradient is called a gentle slope. The contours in such a slope are placed wide apart. Wide apart means very not closed, okay, very at a very long distance. They are very long distance. You can see how much long distance this is a gentle slope. Now hill refers to a landform having a summit at a high elevation. Summit means highest peak at a high elevation, means high altitude. So hill is having its peak at highest altitude. A conical hill is like a cone which has a broad base. Conical hill, this is a conical hill. You can see broad base it is, okay. Its slope is almost the same on all the sides. Yes, it is slope is same at all the sides of conical hill. Contours showing a conical hill are almost circular with peak of the hill as the center. The contours are drawn almost at regular distances, the value of which increases towards the center. The value is increasing towards the center. You can see it here: 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and then 600. 600 is the middle, and it is decreasing towards while we are going out, and while we are going in, the value is increasing. So the contours drawn almost at regular distances, value of which increases towards the center. At center, the value is highest. A mountain is higher in elevation than a conical hill and has more contour lines representing it. Mountain जो है वो higher elevation पे होता है conical hill से ज़्यादा, तो उसे ज़्यादा contour lines होती है, मतलब और contour lines इस पर होगी अगर mountain represent कर रहा होगा तो। ये conical hill represent कर रहा है, ये जो diagram है, you can see down how it is looking. Now valleys, they are of types. So first is V-shaped valley. When the two sides of a river valley are very close and steep, there is hardly any flat land between the two sides. The cross section of the valley is V-shaped. They occur in the upper coast of a river. The contour lines of this type of valley are in inverted V shape, decreasing inward. The section shows a V-shaped landform. You can see it is inverted V shape. It is not like this, it is like this. So V is inverted, and like that V-shaped valley is shown. This is a contour, and they occur in upper coast of a river. Now U-shaped valley. They are broad, flat-floored valleys formed in middle course of a river, or they may be formed by the action of glaciers. वो glacier से भी बन सकते हैं या फिर river से भी, तो वो U shape की होती है, and वो broad होती है, और जो flat होता है वो floored होता है valleys का, तो middle course में होती है. Now hanging valley. Hanging valley, it is formed where the tributary valley meets the main glacier. जहाँ पे ट्रिब्यूटरी जो है वो वहाँ पे ग्लेशियर मेन जो मीट करता है, उधर हैंगिंग वैली बनती है, मतलब फॉर्म्ड होती है. The tributary valley is higher than the floor of the main valley because the main glacier erodes a deeper U-shaped valley than its tributary. It can be asked as grave reason. Why tributary valley is higher than the floor of the main valley? Because the main glacier erodes a deeper U-shaped valley than its tributary. This is the answer. Now, gorge or canyon. Gorge or canyon, it is a deep and narrow valley having steep slope. Yes, it is steep slope. Its contours are same like that of a V-shaped valley. Yes, contours are same like V-shaped valley, that is inverted V-shape. The only difference being that the contours of a gorge are closely spaced and the V formed by them is very narrow. यहाँ पे जो V जो formed हुआ है, you can see like this V is formed. वो बहुत narrow है. You can see narrow it is and spaced है, मतलब closely spaced मतलब बहुत पास पास है. You can see, right? So this is gorge or canyon. Now, ridge. It is a long and narrow highland sloping steeply downwards on its sides. Yes, it is very steep, right? It has a number of summits. Contours showing a ridge are elongated and are closely spaced. Yes, they are closely spaced. You can see the contours. Sometimes they occur peak and passes across a ridge. Sometimes they occur peaks, मतलब वहाँ पे peaks होते हैं और रिच के जैसा वो होता है, रिच के जैसा होता है. Now, water divide. What is water divide? A line which separates two adjacent drainage basin is known as water divide. It can be asked what is water divide. It resembles the shape of the ridge on both sides of which a number of streams flow. It is a ridge which separates the tributaries draining towards one side of it from those draining towards the other. एक साइड में जो tributary drain कर रही है वो और दूसरे साइड में जो ड्रेन करी है वो. On the two sides of the watershed or water divide, the slopes must be opposite and downward. Yes, they are opposite and they are going downward. Right? They are going down. The side of which the ridge is steeper, the contours are drawn closely together. अगर वहाँ पे steep है तो वो बहुत close होगी. जैसे यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, यहाँ पे थोड़ा steep है और यहाँ पे gentle है. क्योंकि ये बहुत पास है और ये जो लाइन्स है वो बहुत दूर दूर है, राइट? So they are gentle and this is steep, whereas the side on which the ridge is gentle, the contours are drawn far apart. Up, escarpment. It is an abrupt, comparatively long and regular steep face of a hill, a ridge or plateau. An escarpment has a narrow top with a steep slope scarp on one side and a gentle slope or deep on the other. मतलब एक साइड में steep slope होता है और दूसरे साइड में gentle slope होता है. Escarpment. The steep slope has a gradient of 1:3 and close contour lines, where the gentle slope has a gradient of about 1:12. A ridge with a steep scarp in the front and a deep slope on the back is called crest. जहाँ पे ऐसा ridge जहाँ पे steep scarp है front में और deep slope है back में. Deep मतलब gentle. तो एक जगह पे steep है और दूसरी जगह पे gentle deep है तो उसे crest कहते हैं. Cuesta. Learn this spelling. Is called a crest. They are caused by uneven erosional work. Why they are caused? By uneven erosional work of rocks on both the sides. The highest part is called the crest. The highest part is called the crest. You can see crest here, right? The scarp and dip always occur together. Yes, this is scarp and this is dip. Always they occur together. Sometimes erosion by running water leads to the formation of V-shaped valleys on the dip side of an escarpment. जहाँ पे dip side होती है, मतलब ये वाली side है, यहाँ पे कभी कभी जब water जो होता है वो erosion की वजह से नीचे बह रहा है तो वहाँ पे V-shaped valley form हो जाती है dip side में. Okay, such an escarpment is called dissected scarp. अगर अगर dip वो जो है dip side escarpment है वहाँ पे अगर V shape valley form हो जाए तो वैसे escarpment को dissected scarp कहा जाता है. Now, drainage pattern. Drainage pattern refers to the pattern formed by the streams, rivers and lakes in a particular drainage area. These patterns are formed in response to the topography of the land, nature of rocks, tectonic activities, supply of water and the gradient of the land. The most important drainage patterns are, now we will be seeing drainage patterns. You must know what are drainage pattern. Drainage pattern refers to pattern formed by streams, rivers and lakes in a particular drainage area. This much is important, okay? Now drainage pattern we will see one by one. Dendritic drainage pattern. It is a branching tree-like drainage pattern which is generally found on flat lands. This is a flat land. Can you see any contour here? No. So this is a flat land. And most of the rivers of the Indo-Gangetic plains are of dendritic type. It can be asked example of dendritic type. You must write Indo-Gangetic. And how are dendritic drainage pattern? It is a branching tree-like drainage pattern. You can see tree and branching like branches of a tree. Can you imagine like that? So like that dendritic drainage pattern are there. And it is generally found on flat land. Yes, it is on flat land. Trellised drainage pattern. It is a rectangular drainage pattern with streams flowing parallel to each other and joining the main stream at right angle. This here. This is okay, and you can see now here the parallel lines. You can see parallel lines, and they are parallel to each other. These are parallel to each other, right? And they are crossing at right angle. Wait a minute. Can you see this right angle? This all are right angle, right? Like this is a right angle, right? So like this, anywhere right angle, and they are parallel to each other and join the main stream at right angle. It is generally seen in areas with alternating hard and soft rocks or in the region of limestone rocks. This is given to identify, means when we will see it on topographical map, we must identify that this area is alternating hard and soft rock. This area is having of limestone rock, so there is trellised drainage pattern. It is possible that trellised drainage pattern is there. Radial drainage pattern. It is a drainage pattern with streams spreading out in all directions with like spokes of a wheel. Just imagine the spokes of a wheel like this. Okay, so you can see this is radial, and just imagine it like that. Okay, it is a drainage pattern with streams spreading out in all directions like spokes of the wheel. Yes, it is spreading in all directions. All the directions there are drainage pattern. It can generally be seen where a conical hill or volcano exists. Where you can see conical hill or volcano, there is chances of being radial drainage pattern. Of course, volcanoes form this type of radial drainage pattern. When volcano bursts out, it is forming radial drainage pattern like this, and it is in all the directions. Okay, now disappearing streams. When rivers or streams do not have enough water, they dry up or disappear into the sand. जब river और stream में पानी ज़्यादा नहीं रहता है, तब वो dry हो जाती है और वो disappear हो जाती है sand के अंदर. They are known as disappearing streams as indicated by broken lines. You can see this broken lines. यहाँ पे उसमें वाटर था, पर बाद में जब उसका वाटर जो नहीं रहा, तो वो ऐसे छोटे छोटे ब्रोकन लाइन से दिखाया जाता है. दिस फिनोमिनन इज नोन एज अंडरग्राउंड ड्रेनेज इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ टोपोग्राफिक मैप. टोपोग्राफी में सीखते वक्त इसे कहा जाता है अंडरग्राउंड ड्रेनेज. वैसे तो डिसेपरिंग स्ट्रीम्स होती है, पर उसे अंडरग्राउंड ड्रेनेज भी कहा जाता है. ऐसे आपको याद रखना होगा. और पहले तो वो ब्लू होती है, और उसके बाद ब्रोकन लाइंस जो होते हैं वो ब्लैक 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 ब्लैक, और आगे वो सैंड के अंदर चली जाती है, डिसअपियर हो जाती है. A very big thank you to reach the end of this video. In next video, we will be seeing conventional signs and symbols and some Hindi terms that are given in our book used in survey maps, colors and contour maps. That all we will see, and we will finish this chapter. Till then, subscribe and press the bell icon. That is very important, so that you will get the notification whenever I upload my new video. Till then, bye bye.